You've got time, okay? We've got all the time in the world. We need to not put pressure on ourselves to change our life overnight. Instead, we need to set out some really easy tasks that we can do on the daily to work towards those big goals that I'm putting so much pressure on myself about, so that I feel like I'm working towards each day. Hey babe, so today's topic of discussion is my top three tools that you need to help improve your mental health. If you're new here, I'm Georgia and I use my own mental health experience to help you to better yours. Hopefully that gives you just a little bit of faith that actually I am telling you this from experience, from me being in a real low place like you might be, or just struggling with your mental health, whatever it may be. I've been there too, and that's exactly and the only reason why I've started this channel, because I really do want to help you to find your happiness again, find your positive peak within. All right, sound good, sound good, sound good. Let's get to it. Disclaimer: if you're after an overnight fix for your mental health, this video is not it, okay? Another disclaimer on top of that is you're not going to find a quick fix overnight for your mental health, okay? These things take time. You deserve all the time in the world to help you get to a place where you feel more at peace and happy. Okay, now we've cleared that up, let's get to it. Actually get to it this time. Number one of our trio then is being kind to your mind. It's not easy. Another little disclaimer, none of this shit is easy, okay? But you're clearly here for a reason. You clearly want a little bit of guidance, a little bit of help. So let's get to how you can actually do effective things. When I say being kind to your mind, being kind to yourself, what that inner voice, you know, that negative Nigel, that's what I call it over on TikTok anyway, and Instagram too. That negative Nigel is your inner self-chat, right? That just beats you up a little bit, don't it? Sometimes you sat there and you've just got this voice, not even invited to the party, going on in your ear hole, giving you a load of things that you should be doubting yourself for, why you shouldn't like yourself, all of that shit, okay? Point one to work on to having a better mental health is we're going to learn how to fix that, okay? I'm going to get straight into it and tell you the how. You know what it is. Now let's get how. Let's get to the how. First of all, how we're going to work on changing and correcting negative Nigel and putting him in his place. When you get a voice that comes in your head and it says something that's either a limiting belief or something really negative or mean about yourself, for example, you hate yourself or you're not worthy, whatever it may be, and that negative thought comes in your mind, there's two things that I do or have done in the past to help me get through it, get past it. One, if you follow me elsewhere, you'll know I'm about to this for like, George, really, journal it through, okay? Journal it. Girls, boys, everyone, whoever's listening, when I tell you about 4 or 5 years ago when I first walked into that doctor's office with depression, undiagnosed at the time, and they said journaling's great, I was like, yeah, whatever, cool. I didn't say that to the face, I'm not that rude, all right? But I was like, yeah, I'll give it a go. Did I ever pick up a pen and paper and try? No, I didn't. I couldn't. It was so difficult when my head was so full and cloudy. I didn't want to write it down. I couldn't even put the words to the paper. But OMG, for the past 90 days, like right now, within this 90 days that's just passed, I've set myself a challenge to journal every single day. Life-changing. I'll do another video on journaling and exactly what benefits and how to do it, okay? So stay tuned for that one. But back to it, what I want you to do is when that thought comes up, and it might be a strong one, it might not be a new one, it might be something that you hear all the time. It's not you being mean to yourself, okay? We're going to separate it from you. Write down that thought, okay? Write it down. And then I want you to try and find evidence, right? The evidence you're looking for is the evidence that gives you the reason that you can beat yourself up about that specific thing for the rest of your life or for years to come. Let me tell you, there's not a lot of evidence, all right? I want you to write it down, and after you've written down, if you can find some evidence, great. And then after that, I want you to ask yourself, do I deserve to hold myself a prisoner to this statement for the rest of my life or for years to come? The answer, I'll give you it, all right? It's no. What I then want you to try and do is find a positive switch on that statement. Either break it down and say, actually, yeah, I did make that mistake, but do you know what? I'm going to make so many more mistakes in this life because that's how I'm going to learn and that's how I'm going to grow. That, you can apply that to absolutely anything, okay? I then want you to replace it with something kind and positive about yourself. Get a bit personal here and tell you mine, okay? One of the things that my head will tell me is that I'm not doing things fast enough, or I haven't succeeded enough, I've not got enough done at this point in life. I then replace that thought with, because it will still come down again, is that not only is that me putting something more positive to my brain, that's even like a little bit of an action plan. Give yourself time, okay? Slow down, back to basics. That's what I always say. Take care of your hygiene. I know it goes out of the window when you're feeling low. It definitely did for me. But yeah, take care of your hygiene. Jump in the shower, freshen up. Fuel your body with the right foods, with drinks, something that you actually like. Even if your appetite's completely gone out the window, just do a small little portion, because your body does deserve to be fueled. It deserves to be fed. It don't deserve to be starved. If your mind is a little full, still try and do the things that you enjoy or once enjoyed. I know when I became really low, and when I found out eventually I did have depression, everything that I once enjoyed just went out the window, right? Didn't enjoy that anymore. I didn't enjoy anything. So when these people say, oh yeah, do what you enjoy. Well, I don't enjoy anything, but I do now, obviously. But I mean, I remember when I was low, I didn't enjoy anything. Still try and fit those into your schedule when and where you can, even if you don't feel as if you love anything right now, because actually that's just your mind being a bit clouded. You genuinely do still have an interest in those things, so just give them a go. Same thing, what I would always say as well is get yourself out in nature, okay? I know that's something that people scream about too, but genuinely going out and breathing in the fresh air, being in open spaces, being in nature is genuinely scientifically proven, and I can feel it with myself to this day that getting out just helps my shoulders to relax, to go down, and just see things a little bit more logically, you know, come out of my own head. So that is something I 100% recommend. Another thing that I know is a struggle in the beginning, but we're going to do it, okay? I'll do a whole series on confidence, and I'll even do workshops. I've got a guide on confidence because I'm a confident queen and I want to teach you how to do the same. But we've got to start speaking kindly to ourselves, okay? That negative Nigel, that inner self chatter sometimes can be a real negative person. So we're going to plant new seeds to help our inner chatter to become more positive, to become kinder, to become on our own side. Especially now, if you are going through something where you're feeling lower, your self-esteem's on the floor, you're feeling a bit depressed or a bit low, whatever it may be, we're going to start talking kinder to ourselves, okay? So I started doing this by the flaws that I constantly repeated to myself that I thought that I had. I turn them into a better thing. One little tip on how to do this is that body part that you're picking at, make sure you look at it for what its purpose is. So for example, I used to pick at my nose. I've got the cutest nose, but I used to think because my nostrils were quite visible that it was too piggy and it wasn't cute. Lies, is so cute, and so is yours, no matter what your nose looks like. But aside from just what our outer shell looks like, my nose literally helps me to breathe. It keeps me alive. I'm so blessed and so lucky. And yeah, you might be like, oh, so fluffy. That's just so like woo-woo shit. But no, honestly, that is how I have become such a confident person. Don't hyper focus on any flaws that I think I might have. I don't actually think I have any anymore. Do you want to be in a place like that? Because I definitely did, and I now am. So try that tip out, honestly. Let's go to number two. Number two is listening to your body. And it's not something physical that you can just click and start doing and then that's it. Woo, I'm no longer depressed, or woo, I feel so much better. You will, after you combine little things from each one of these three key areas, honestly, give yourself time, give yourself a chance. I was about to say the third one, but I'll get to that in a minute. You will be able to overcome however you're feeling right now. Everything you need, this is the biggest blessing about when it comes to having a low mental health, that everything you need is within yourself, okay? Everything you need to help switch your brain to feeling better, to feeling more uplifted, to feeling more confident, to feeling more at peace, happier, it's up here. Whether or not you need somebody to help you recognise that by going through talking therapy or listening to me or whatever. I also had a journey with medication. I can update you on that as well. We'll do a little vid talking about that. But whatever that may be, everything that aids you, you still have everything else inside you. Your body is sending you signals all the time, but we may just ignore them or not recognize them as signals, all right? So ways that your body signals to you is you're feeling tired. You might be tired because of what's going on up here. You don't have had to have done anything in your day, but you can still feel tired because You can be mentally drained. It's just as tough as being physically drained. As I said, our body is sending signals all the time. Simple ones. Your belly rumbles. It's trying to tell your brain that you're hungry, okay? Your mouth's dry. You might be thirsty, okay? It's like signs go to your brain all the time. It's just recognizing them and being open to seeing what your body's saying. You might have aches and pains. For me, physical anxiety absolutely riddled me. Heavy shoulders. I had a chest, it felt like chest pain sometimes, where my chest would feel so tight because of my anxiety. It's a thing. We'll talk about it. For now, recognizing things like that is just getting in tune and listening to your body. You're tired. Okay, let's think about taking a nap in a decent amount of time so that you can recharge, you know? That we're not going to get through our depression or through our low period or through this little blip that you may be having is by beating ourselves up and being mean and to the signals that our body's sending us. Okay. Everything is valid that you're hearing up here, okay? It's not necessarily logical and it's not necessarily facts, but it is valid, okay? So if you've got those emotions, you can feel something there. Something keeps niggling away at your brain. You don't need to ignore it and you don't need to beat yourself up for feeling that way. It's absolutely fine to be feeling however you are feeling. Because again, let me tell you again, you've got all the tools you need to correct it, to work with it, to heal from it. Part of speaking, the biggest part of listening to your body is slowing down and going back to basics. These are things that I wish I knew sooner, rather than trying to hurry up and force myself and scramble through the days and do as much as I can. And actually inside I'm feeling all tight and anxious and just racing at 1,000 miles an hour. Or the opposite, at one point I was just laying down doing absolutely nothing, crying my way through the day because my brain was so full. We need to go back to basics. I don't know if anyone knows Maslow's hierarchy, but this is something that I always think about when I say go back to basics. It's the very bottom section I'm talking about. If you don't know, don't worry. But to get to the point, going back to basics is literally getting your sleep in, looking after your body hygiene and feeling safe, okay? You're all probably blessed enough to be in a home with a roof over your head if you're watching this video. Find your safe space, create a safe environment. For me, it's either on this settee, within those soft pillows, with this soft blanket right here, and my dressing gown on 100%. In the summer it's a bit hard. I can't wait for winter just so I can wear my dressing gowns again because I absolutely live in them. Sit in your head, okay, within your thoughts, getting overtaken by them, feeling out of control. Get them all down. Brain spill every time. I brain spill sometimes every day. Everything that's on my head I will get down on a piece of paper, okay? Just because, honestly, the instant relief from offloading and onto the paper, perfect little hack, honestly. But back to basics, just focus on trying to hydrate yourself, giving yourself enough water. I literally, it's right here, carry this every single day to remind myself to keep sipping, I've not done that well today, can you see that? But I'll just keep sipping. That way you're hydrating your body, you're doing something good for your body, you're going back to basics, okay? Try and eat something in the day. I know this can be a bit difficult, especially when you're stressed. Do you know, if I'm stressed to a certain extent, I want to comfort eat. If it goes beyond that, and I remember when I was really low and depressed, I didn't have any appetite for a meal at all. When the stress goes beyond stress, and it's stress, real deep stress, that is when my appetite goes. And I'm sure you can relate. If that's you, even though your appetite's gone, it doesn't mean that your body doesn't need the food for fuel. That will actually give you some energy and to help you maybe tick off one of those things off your to-do list eventually. I know I'd already mentioned it, but with hygiene, try and jump in the shower on the daily. I like a bath, to be honest, but when my brain was busy, I didn't like baths because it was more time to sit in my own time, which I don't want to do. So quick shower, if not, quick flannel wash, get the pits, get the pits and the bits freshened up, okay? Brush your mouth, just brush your teeth. It'll just take you 2 minutes, if that. Just freshen your breath, you'll feel a bit better. Don't worry if you're sleeping a bit much, okay? It's okay to have a nap. I napped all the time. I still nap now. You know, if my brain's overloaded and people say, oh yeah, deal with it, I'll deal with it after a nap. Because if I'm feeling knackered and I'm feeling overwhelmed and my brain's full, the nap is getting taken. But take the nap on a time frame, set your alarm and do it with meditation from YouTube, okay? Or an app. I use Calm. just put something on that's going to take control of your brain for a little bit. Mindfulness meditation, type anything like that. Meditation to sleep, meditation to nap, meditation to uplift me, whatever it is, pop it in. It's free, it's on YouTube, and it will fill your brain with goodness. You can recharge properly. A little reminder, okay, here I want to put in here is that your body is an absolute blessing, okay? Your mind and you as a person, as a whole, are an absolute blessing. You have every reason to be here on this planet, on this earth. You deserve to be here, you're wanted and you're needed. Your body does so much for you without us even having to think about it. It literally keeps you alive. So that, if that's not a reason, well then I don't know. But that is the reason why we need to take care of it, why we need to value it, why we need to support it and care for it, okay? What I'm doing right now here is something that I've recently started doing, but I'm going to tell you about anyway. Listen to meditation and something that I've learned. The biggest takeaway I've learned from meditation is that it's all about bringing yourself back to now. It's quite hard to do, but that's a way that we are going to bring ourselves out of our mind and back into our body and present, okay? I know if this is new to you, that might sound a bit fluffy and like, okay. Just believe me when I say everything I'm telling you is come through stuff that I have experienced. It's not just stuff I've researched and thought, yeah, that sounds good to let people know. That will give them a bit of hope. The hope that you've got from listening to what I'm saying is I once was depressed, but just trust me and to know that everything I'm telling you on these videos on my channel is stuff that I have done, that I put into practice, that I do on the daily still now to help look after me and my body and my mental health. Now I've got that out of the way, let me tell you about this new thing that I'm doing right now. Or this is what I'll often do sometimes. If I feel like I'm running away with my thoughts and I'm stuck in my head and my head's on overdrive or it's on overthink mode, whatever it is, I will genuinely sit there and I will just do this for a minute, okay? Or just rub my chest, which is where it gets tight sometimes. The feeling and the touch brings you back into the present moment right now. And I'll just tell myself, come on, you don't deserve to overload yourself like this. Or come on, you don't deserve to overthink like that. Come on, you don't deserve this amount of pressure. You're doing just as much as you can right now in the moment. Or something kind like that, something comforting, okay? And this rubbing like this, honestly, is soothing. Try it now. Just put your hand, if you get a tight chest like me, rub like this, or self-hug is the one I like to do. Well, just do this and I hope you can see, but I'll just rub my arms like this, anything like that, or my leg, whatever it is, just to bring yourself back to now, okay? Reminding yourself, giving yourself that bit of, what is it? It's a love language, physical touch. That's it. It's one of my top love languages, okay? So if yours is physical touch, this is going to work really well for you. If you don't like to be touched, maybe not, try something else with the other tips I've given you, yeah? But just rubbing yourself and being gentle and being kind to your outer body, to your skin, you can feel that. It just brings you back. And then say something kind to yourself, okay? Do it. It might feel a bit uncomfortable. All of this will feel uncomfortable, okay? You have to choose your uncomfortable, right? Do you want to be uncomfortable dealing with your negative, unhappy mind and just coping with that and or trying to cope with that? Or do you want to feel uncomfortable for a split second or a few times of doing things that are actually good and going to help to get you out of that sitch? I know you choose option 2. I made my mind up. I made your mind up for you, okay? So, to wrap that up, listen to your inner self-talk, okay? Mine sometimes I call her Debbie Doubter, or it's Negative Nigel, depending on where she is. I like to personify those feelings so that it's separate from me, okay? It's just something you're dealing with. It's not completely you as a person, okay? The exact same way that I want you to think about your mental health. If you've been diagnosed with depression or anxiety, think about it exactly the same. Mine are called Anxious Anne and Depressed Dan. I'll say that they're present with me right now. It doesn't consume me. I'm so much more than my anxiety. You are so much more than your anxiety, and you're so much more than your depression. Okay. I would say on that sometimes, just to finish that off, is I need you to be able to differentiate between doing what your body needs sometimes and not just what it wants all the time. So for example, I remember, that was a bit of a deep breath, wasn't it? It's just sometimes I waffle on you and I'm like, and breathe, George. Whew, and slow down. I know that when I was really low, all I wanted to do was hide away. All I wanted to do was stay in that same pair of pajamas, didn't want to get dressed, didn't want to brush my teeth, didn't feel like I wanted to go and see the world, get outside, didn't feel like I wanted to see many people. There was only a set few people I wanted to see at the time. Yeah, I didn't want to do any of it, but I needed to do it. Do you see what I mean? So even though you might not want to do it at one point, none of this you'll want to do if you're feeling real low. You'll just want to sit and be in your little, I don't know, what's this? What am I explaining? In your little, like, what do hedgehogs do? Your hibernation pod, okay? We got there in the end. Sometimes the words don't come, but if I do the action, just help me out in the comments, right? But yeah, sometimes we need to try and just think, okay, I don't want to do this. I can't be bothered to do any of this. My mind's so low, I'm so overwhelmed or whatever. But this is actually good for me. So I'm going to do it because my body deserves it. That is exactly the statement I tell myself every single day. When I can't bother to go to the gym, I'm going to go though because my body deserves it. My body deserves to feel good, and the gym within 15 seconds I get that boost. This, I'm going to argue, is the most important one out of the trio. Being open-minded, okay? Any of the stuff that I've talked about so far, you're not going to be able to do if you don't allow yourself to be open-minded. And as I always do, I'm going to tell you about my experience and why I know that this is the top of the trio, okay? When I first started going to the doctors, when I first started recognising that I was going down real quick, I was offered a lot of the things that I now talk about now on my platforms from the doctors, from the nurses, from other people that could help me, that were practical. My top ones being getting outside, journaling, focusing on my sleep pattern, fueling my body right, meditation, journaling. If I didn't, I think I already did that, did I? But it's fine. All of those things I heard, I was like, yeah, shut the door on them straight away. Another big one, medication. I said meditation, didn't I? And talking therapy, CBT, any form of therapy, all of that. Shut it down. I was like, yeah, it's not going to help me. This is me. I'm destined for this sad life now. Sad life gang. That's just the only place I'm going to be. Might not be here for much longer. If you get the hint, that's how I was feeling. But if I was a bit more open-minded to them, I probably wouldn't have had a long struggle like I did. I definitely cut it short to what it could have been. Go me. Because I did start to become open-minded. But if you're not open-minded to any things I've said, or to what your doctor's saying, or to what you're seeing as suggestions, then that's what you need to practice on first, okay? Go in to that doctor's office if you're going there for extra help and you need a bit more support. It's absolutely fine. I did it too. Go in there with an open mind, okay? Anything that's suggested in this video from me, from a professional, like I was suggested, is going to help you. It's not something you're going to find comfortable, but remember what I said, pick your uncomfortable. Even if you think, oh, it's not going to work, I want you to give it a go. And no, I don't want you to give it a go for one day and say, right, I've tried to write down, it don't work. No, I'm sorry, babe, that's not it. That's not going to cut it. That's not going to cut it. We're going to try every day, okay? Set yourself for a week. Give it a week. Give it a go for a week, yeah? Give going out and getting in the garden, breathing in fresh air for a couple of minutes. Give it 30 days. Give it 20 days. How about we don't even set a time frame on it? Just say, I'm trying to look after myself by going out in the morning and getting some fresh air. I'm trying to look after my body by writing down and brain spilling everything onto paper to give my brain a bit of space. And frame it that way, okay? The time frame section a minute ago, it's irrelevant. I was just giving that to you because I know your brain, like mine did, will probably look for a time frame. Okay, how quick can I do this then? Oh, I need to be off the medication by this time. That's something that I tell myself. Oh, well, I'll journal for a bit then, but if it don't work within a week or two, I'm giving up. We're going to be open-minded, remember? A good way to view it, right, is that there's no other option. The only option is I am going to get myself feeling good. I'm going to get myself feeling well, feeling confident, feeling my own cup, whatever it is. There's no option other than that. So I'm going to keep trying and trying and trying until I find what works for me, until I find what fixes my mental health, till I find what makes me feel good, makes me feel better, makes me feel happier, because that's exactly what you deserve. You do not deserve to be feeling like shit, feeling lacking in confidence, feeling crap, low, depressed, whatever it is, okay? That's the mindset. We're going to go in straightforward with any of the shit. I'm going to find, as low as I am right now, I'm going to look after myself and I'm going to find exactly what's going to work for me. And just know that it's not going to be one thing, one quick fix overnight. It's not going to be one fix in a week. It might take a little while, but that little while is worthwhile. We're just not going to put the pressure on ourselves to hurry up and get an immediate fix, or hurry up and make things happen real quick and get better straight away, because it's not worth it. We want something that's consistent, that's going to last and keep us feeling good for a good while, okay? That's what I've got for you today. I'm sending you so much love, so much strength. Make sure you follow me on my other socials.